How's it going? Thanks for tuning into the show. You're very, very sound as always. Today we're going to be chatting to John Maher. He's a friend of mine. I started gigging with him as soon as he came over here, or maybe he came over a bit after me, but he also worked here for a bit. He also done some martial arts for a bit. He's a really good comic. He opened for Jarlath Regan in Vicar Street back at home a little while ago. So I'll ask him a little bit about that. It sounds pretty good. He has his own podcast started as well. Usually people say the podcast, they kind of chat about the podcast towards the end of it, what they're doing, plug some stuff, but he's just released a podcast if you want to check it out. I'll be chatting to him. All the details are on his Instagram. I think it's it's going to be pretty good. I haven't listened to it yet. I think it's released fairly soon, but I'll ask him anyway. We had a busy enough day today. Wasn't that busy. Done a bit of shopping. Went out to, where was I? I was out in Sainsbury's, and now there's a queue there all the time. Whenever I go, I've tried going in the morning, the evening, and kind of lunchtime and that, and it's just busy all the time. But then I go down to Tesco's, the small Tesco's, and there's no one there, and sure, I can get everything I want anyway. It's a bit of meat and some vegetables. It all works out pretty well. Later on in the week, what we have, this is kind of our last kind of interview thing this week. Tomorrow we're going to have from the archive, and day after we're going to have from the archive as well. So Morgan was busy editing them all day.
Doing great.
Yeah, he also done some of next week. He said he was finished, and then I says, well, we better get going on next week then. We better get going on those next week so we can take some time off next week. But the joke is, next week we'll start doing highlight clips and stuff like that. But I won't say that because he'll only be angry with the amount of work we give. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. Well, you can start queuing John up. We'll chat to him. John's a mate of mine, so I'm looking forward to chatting to him. I haven't talked to him in a while. I was talking to him about 10 minutes ago for about 20 minutes, so we got all the good crack out of the way, but now we'll talk for another while. Let's see how it goes. Is John lined up there? How's it going? You can hear me all right, can you?
Am I live? I can hear you.
Yeah, you're fucking live and kicking, man. How are you keeping?
Just about. Yeah, really good, man. Even you've just admitted to not listening to the best podcast of all time.
Have you already climbed the charts of best podcast of all time?
I'm 162nd in the iTunes chart.
That's all right, man. I thought
that's all right. Doing well.
Yeah,
doing well.
I thought they went up to 100 or something, but just went a bit further.
Yeah, me neither. I got some spam email who was like, "Hey, bro, some nerd who's sitting looking at all the iTunes downloads."
Yeah. They emailed you and said you're number 160 something.
Yeah.
That's the dream.
So send them a bank details, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'd just like to be on iTunes. That's what I'm thinking about doing with this. We have a few of these recorded now, and just taking the audio off them and putting them up as a podcast, so people can kind of listen to them. But to be honest, we leave the video up on YouTube anyway, so people can kind of see it there. But I want to kind of put it out in loads of places, so I could put it out in podcast land, like on all the different podcast places, and then just direct them to the live stream. So if they like it, they can tune in live. That's the plan.
You're flooding the market.
Yeah, there's so much stuff out there. Like, everyone's doing loads of stuff all the time.
I took the novel approach of not doing a comedy one. Mm-hmm. As there's no comedy. I've got no comedy right now.
Yeah. What's your podcast? You were interviewing some fighters, was it?
Yeah, it's a mixed martial arts and boxing podcast. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool. Like, the first guest I had on was Brad Pickett, who is
I thought you were going somewhere else with that name. We had Brad Pitt from Fight Club on the other day. Oh,
man, the guy interviewed Brad Pickett. Brad Pitt's character in Snatch is based on him.
All right, that's pretty good.
One Punch. So with him, and I've got Nathaniel Wood, who's a current UFC fighter, on next week.
Does he talk like he got his accent from that dude? Was it?
No. He got like his style and his name. His name's One Punch. Like, that's Brad. And he wears a trilby when he goes into fight, suspenders, the whole thing. And the Guy Ritchie knew him, like, and just lifted it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's called the Open Guard with John Maher. Anyway, I'll get that plug out of the way at the top.
Yeah, that's everyone kind of saves it for the end, like all the audience is waiting just to hear what the podcast name is at the end. But we just say it now, like you can listen to it.
Yeah, nobody's watching at the end. This is once you've put in 10 minutes of my atrocious stand-up. No doubt, everyone's like, "Fuck this guy." So the open guard.
Open guard. Open guard is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu phrase.
God, look at the shoulders. Look at that. I'm fasting today, and that's still the keto kid.
Yeah. Oh. What's wrong with your shoulders?
They're just so jacked that it's actually hard for me to move around.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I seen him before. You had to walk through, like you hear the joke, I had to walk sideways through a door. He does like...
The improv. Yeah, so this lockdown's good because usually people try and play games on my back. Yeah.
You got a chessboard.
But I was saying that I saw you in the flesh 2 days ago because I ran past the club forlornly, and I'm standing up there like some sort of statuesque monitor.
Was I on the second floor? Was it, or was it in the kitchen window?
Yeah, I don't know where. I don't know. You're in the wee room. The wee room.
Oh, the little room. Yeah, I was in there. I was probably doing my. No, was it early in the morning you were running, or later on?
No, in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's probably fixing the blind.
Yeah. What terrible chat this is.
What are you on about? This is. Yeah, you can't like what you can't be like.
God,
funny,
my eyes
funny.
are so blue. Look at that.
Blue eyes,
what?
Giant red beards. Podcast about fighting.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that originally this was scheduled for 8 p.m. and my girlfriend was like, "They're trying to get you cancelled because they know you'll say something about the clap for the NHS."
Yeah, this is the third Thursday we've done the live stream now, and the first one, the slap started going off, and we I think we'd already gone live, and we're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, but at least it was proof that it is live, I guess.
Yeah. Next, you should do something next Tuesday when they're clapping for the Queen's birthday. Did you see that today?
No, Jesus Christ.
Ben Fogle has absolutely thrown his 9-year-old daughter under the bus with the most embarrassing Instagram video that will ever happen. Has got nothing but abuse from it. Clap for the Queen. Which, listen, you know me, I think she's great, but I don't think that in the midst of a fucking global pandemic, it's probably the time to clap someone in a gold house.
No, and when they were clapping, like it took a lot, like the NHS are doing class stuff and everything, so everyone's out at 8 o'clock and they really go for it. There's people with pots and pans out in Islington banging on them, really trying to show how, you know, supportive they are of the NHS. In fairness, like they usually vote for Labour around here, so they're really up for the NHS anyway. But other parts, I wonder what the clap's like down Knightsbridge. It's probably fucking silent.
Yeah, but man, they were raising the roof for Boris last week.
Yeah. Poor Boris.
There was a fucking protest in the streets. Yeah.
That'd be great if there was a decimal. You'd love to hear that. Like if a decimal counter was put outside the window in all the different constituencies, and like if it matched up perfectly with the
voting records.
With the voting records. Just colour them in like it does. Oh yeah, perfect match there actually. Morgan, you could set that up with your tech.
Well, with decibel meters down.
Yeah.
Yeah, get on it, mate. It's fine.
We had to set up a decibel meter downstairs before for the comedy shows, so it wasn't too loud for the neighbours. And once we'd done the first show, we were just like, the decibels were absolutely off the chart, so we just didn't report them. It just says, all right, just won't mention that.
That was probably whenever I was on, was it?
Yeah, it was mainly when you were on, but it wasn't the crowd, it was just you without the microphone.
There was no laughter. There was no laughter, yeah.
You're just screaming at the front row, like, listen
I've had to use 2 pop shields on the microphone.
Yeah, the first one always breaks about 5 minutes in.
To dumb it down. Here, does Morgan ever get on camera?
Gamera?
To fix things?
Yeah.
I get on, but
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
What's Gamera?
On camera.
Camera.
Oh, right. Sorry, I'm new to the live
Fuck
stream.
me, man. Of everybody, you've got the problem with my accent. You're both. It's just because you're both two very handsome, long-haired men.
Oh, you're very kind. You're very complimentary to most men, though, which is very kind of you, actually.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, we've got to help each other out.
Yeah, it's just people in general, because girls are great. They always tell everyone looks fabulous and, oh, you look amazing. But no, lads don't say that to each other. We should.
We should. Hey, man, you've got great eyes.
Oh, they're really intimidating me right now.
Yeah, yeah, it just gets too much. My God, your thighs are bulging, and I've noticed. That's all.
Yeah, very particular ways of complimenting guys. You're good at fighting. I know it. I wouldn't like to fight you. That's actually a compliment. People say, "Geez, I wouldn't like to fight you."
That's so funny. Yeah. Meanwhile, it would be great to fight me because, one, I'll cry straight away because I cry all the time. Mm-hmm. Two, I'm running away. And three, I can't run. So you're going to win.
You're out doing your run the other day. Have you only started back running, or because it's the only thing you can do now because of the lockdown and everything, or do you run anyway?
No, pretty much, yeah. I hate running. I'm built like a fucking phone box, so I'm not running. So I just had to build it up. And I actually overextended myself the other day. I've basically set myself a goal to run 5 miles non-stop, right? That's my goal by the end of this lockdown. Mm-hmm. The other day I was like, right, okay, well, I'll try running 5 miles now, just so that long, see how long that gets me. Mm-hmm. And it took a while, like it was a couple of starts and stops. And then the next day I couldn't move.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, I've broken my hip. Uh-huh. That's so I've eased off again now. Did 3 kilometers this morning.
Running isn't the healthiest way to look after your body, because like if you get into it, it really does pound your joints, especially like if you're not used to it in some ways, like as well. Like there's some people who can do marathons and they're grand, but they're kind of few and far between. Anyone else who's a casual runner, especially, do you see, this is probably you, unfortunately, as well. Some people who aren't running, they have a really bad running style, and I could just see them pounding on their shin kind of goes out to the left a bit or out to the right when they're running, and they're just pounding down on it. It's so not structurally sound at all. They're just doing damage to their knees, like.
Well, luckily for me, I'm a bit bow-legged, so my feet they just land perfectly. So I'm like, because it doesn't have the option. Unfortunately, it means that I look like I've been riding a horse whenever I finish. Like.
Yeah, strong legs. You're very strong legs. Did you ever play rugby or anything? No, you weak legs.
No, very, very weak, very weak. I look like I should be. Like I look like I should play rugby and stuff. Uh-huh. And a lot of people talk to me about that. But first of all, that was considered a Protestant sport where I grew up, so we weren't allowed. But secondly, looks slightly too physical for me. So I'm happy just watching, jumping on the bandwagon when Ireland do well.
Yeah.
But throwing them under the bus when they don't.
Would you ever get back into any of the martial arts? Would you start doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu again? Say even to be kind of in the zone for your podcast and chatting about it a bit more, like, you know?
Yeah, man. I mean, I would love to. Honestly, it's super expensive in London. Like, that's one of the biggest barriers here. It's mad.
Yeah.
So, to find somewhere decent to train is quite difficult. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping that these interviews we're doing will open doors. Mm-hmm.
I got into yoga just like a few months ago, and I was always going to the classes and everything like that. But since I've been doing lockdown and everything, I've been doing it at home by myself. So a lot of my teachers are live streaming stuff, and they leave the videos up for a few days. So I started just doing the videos like first thing in the morning when I get up or after a run or something. And I absolutely love having the flexibility of just doing a yoga class whenever I want, because I like getting up, having a coffee, going for a run, doing a yoga class, and it's just really nice to do it yourself. I'm just becoming more and more isolated in some ways, because if you're doing stand-up, you're always in your own head anyway. And you do it by yourself, and you live and die by sword in some ways. It's just you up there. And then with yoga as well, like I don't do any team sports or anything anymore. If I was to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it'd be great if I had a mate or someone you could meet up and do it with. That wouldn't cost anything, but you have to get trained as well, I guess.
Yeah, Matthew Monsoon McAloon has got a garage that is completely kitted out with a gym, weights, boxing bag, or punching bag thing, and he's dying for a wrestling partner.
A wrestling partner?
Well, like jiu-jitsu, the whole thing, yeah.
Oh yeah, has he done jiu-jitsu before?
He did a little bit, but you can do loads from tutorials online and stuff.
Yeah, I'll tell him I've never done it before, but I've like 2 years of martial arts training, so I go down and just it's like,
yeah.
I'll try an iron bar on you. I got you.
Nigel Long did that to us.
Can he fight? Can he?
I don't know. Well, he said he had never trained on it. The next thing he started fucking fly kicking the pads. I don't know if that's just a stereotype thing that he knows what he's doing just purely through cultural memory, but this motherfucker is lying his ass off. He's never done anything before.
That's so funny. He's secretly good at fighting. Like, it's like, well, is it a secret? Such a hard worker as well. He's really got it all down.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a badass on the hustle front.
Yeah. I would like to do if I had. I don't know, is it a time thing, but you can only have so many interests in your life and stuff. If you enjoy something, you want to do it as much as you can. Like, it'd be great to do jiu-jitsu, and I'd love to do boxing, love to do this, that, and the other all the time. But if you're just doing them once a week for fun, you'll never get good at them, and it's also nice to get good at something as well.
Yeah.
That's why I'm sticking to the yoga and just running at the moment. I go for a few miles run in the morning for warm up, and then I do the yoga class then. So
that's good. And the good thing about that is no one's going to beat the fuck out of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is really, that was always the downside I found with any sort of martial arts or boxing training when I did it, was the training was class and I really loved it. But then some giant Polish guy would beat the fuck out of me. Yeah. And that was really the part that was hard.
Mm-hmm. When I first started fighting, when I first started training for it, I remember there was a guy getting ready for a proper pro MMA fight, and what you do, like, coming up to that, you probably know this, like, but you'd have 10 lads in the gym, and then each of you do a round with them, like, you know. And
Shark Tank.
Yeah, and I was only there for a couple of weeks, like, except I was a big guy. I was about, I don't know, 20 or I was probably 25 kilos bigger than him, like, you know. So he was getting beaten up, and he was like 7 rounds in, and then I went in, like, and I grabbed him and just put him on the ground and felt like a fucking legend, like, because I was way bigger than him, and he was absolutely wrecked.
Yeah, well, I've been that guy. I've been the other guy. Yeah, I remember, man, we were doing that, and it was meant to be like light sparring, and it was this. It's always Polish guys. It's always Polish. It's like it's a meme in MMA is like, you know, make sure your equipment's clean, like stretch before you get to class, and then one of them will always be do not spar with these two. Because they're fucking lunatics. And this guy, like, it was like, you know, 30%. I was like, oh, this is going to be nice and easy. Ding, there's the round, and he hit me so hard on the jaw that I was like, oh, this. I was just swimming for dear life after that.
Yeah, that's why I stopped doing it after a couple of years, because I was doing it was light sparring the same, and I just got clocked just on the jaw, like, wasn't too bad, you know, didn't fucking knock me over, nothing bad at all, like. But then after training, or no, when I woke up the next day, because I was kind of buzzing after training, but when I woke up the next day, I was looking around my bedroom, and I had these like little worms, little floaters in my eye. So
brain damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had brain damage.
I had to give up my career as a structural engineer and say, right, I have to take this comedy a bit more seriously.
That's it. Yeah.
Really need to go for it now.
So have you been writing more songs and stuff while you're under, like, comedy songs?
Comedy songs? No, I've like I done a full show. Like, I was a musical comedian for a good few years. Then I done a show with all my music in it and stuff like that. And then over the past couple of years, I've only written 2 or 3 songs. Only one of them is like really good that I can do it like in a proper club setting, like. Whereas I'm not as interested in doing the music side of stuff. What I have been doing, say up until the lockdown, is I had my stand up and I was writing stuff and I was playing music in the background, just some nice kind of vibes, just playing some tunes. Someone walk in there. Who was it?
What's that? Oh no, Jenna is here, just making sure I don't say anything that's gonna end me.
Yeah. Was it you said I had a leather jacket on a few weeks ago, and you says wear it while you can. It'll get you cancelled in a few weeks.
No, I don't want. That wasn't me.
Was it
That
not?
sounds very funny, but I wish it was me, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know who it was. Whoever it was, you're a very funny person. Yeah, I was going to...
If I wore a leather jacket, I would just look like one of those weird taxi drivers. So there's a certain body shape that you shouldn't wear a leather jacket because you will look like a people trafficker.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah, but like all taxi drivers are technically people traffickers, so that's all
Yeah.
If only I had a pen.
If only you were recording this.
Yeah, if only I was recording this and remember every detail of it because I'm really zoned into everyone. Yeah. Taxi drivers going mad now. That's what we have to do.
Yeah, well, I can say that because my dad was a taxi driver.
Was it? Yeah.
And
also, I get you. Yeah. People and guns for the cause.
Yeah. No, not really. I actually got into trouble with that recently at this fucking, I can't say what it was, but it was basically like a comedy industry thing. And after the set, the guy goes to me, do you think that some people might take away that you're actually in support of terrorist organizations? Like, I think you took that away. It turned out that he had some family history that made him quite prone to thinking that about Irish people. But the Irish person he saw, he was like, this person is the guy who did the thing. That was another door closed.
Yeah, when you had a good few gigs. Had you finished them, or were a few of them lined up? You were meant to be opening for Jarlath around the place.
Yeah.
Jarlath Regan.
We were so lucky. So Jarlath Regan from the Irishman Abroad podcast, we were so lucky. We had done quite a bit of them, and Jarlath was filming his new special, Notions 11. He was filming it in Vicar Street, and we got that filmed. We did that gig on Friday the 6th of March. Mm-hmm. And then that was the last live event, I think, in Dublin.
Wow.
We got to do that at Vicar Street. It's like most amazing venue that I've ever been to. Like Bob Dylan's played it.
Yeah.
Neil album there. So we did that, and yeah, so he got that filmed, and then we got one in where we were contractually obliged to do this gig. Mm-hmm. Frustratingly, and the venue wouldn't let us out of it, and so we basically had to do this weird gig when we knew that we shouldn't have done it. But yeah, the Vicar Street one was amazing. Mm-hmm. He's got, and I've seen the film from it. Looks ace as well.
That's class. I'm delighted he got it in. Like, because when you're building, I know loads of comics were probably building up to a special and shooting it during the summer or that. But I know Charlotte worked so hard and he's so sound. I'm delighted he got it in.
yeah, man, it was unbelievable, and it was like it really did feel like it was the perfect time to do it as well. We were both like firing on all cylinders, and his was like he did must have been an hour and 40, I reckon.
Wow.
He did 2 halves, and it was class. Yeah, it was banging. So it was the perfect way, really, to end it off. But wait to hear this. This is like the classic comedy. This is the rise and fall. This is how your ego deals with this. We do this gig. It's like 1,000 people. Unreal. Like, there's people that I recognize in the crowd from like other stuff that I've watched, and my family's all there to see it. Class. It was unbelievable. Like, it was floating, and I felt like I was probably too excited, too high about the whole thing. And it's about 2 hours from where I'm from. I'm from Newry, and even though we had a room booked that night in Dublin. After the gig, I was like, I should just take the 2 hours on the bus and just try and chill and come back down to earth a bit, because it was like, it was mad. It was like doing some, it was like doing some sort of fucking marathon or at the end, it was just like a real weird feeling. So I was like, that's a good thing, dude. So my family all drove home, and then I went and got the bus. Quarter past 1 in the morning in Dublin, last bus, like. And there was maybe 4 of us on the bus. There's a guy sat like across the aisle from me, and next thing I start smelling this. Like I was like, somebody. Like, it smells like someone has shit themselves. It smells, and I turn around, look at this guy, and this guy was completely collapsed, covered in vomit, had definitely shit himself. And this was, I'm not joking, this was at Dublin Airport. This is like 20 minutes after we leave Dublin. And I can't tell the driver, because if I tell the driver, he has to stop. And then fucking, I want to go home at this stage. And so I just sat there with this guy. He was so hammered. I was like, "You all right, mate?" He was like,
fucking shat myself.
By the time I got there, I was like, yeah, I mean, it was good. It was healthy for the ego, you know?
Oh,
I was like,
God.
yeah. I got on the bus like fucking Johnny Cash, and I walked off defeated, like some lad. Gotta work harder. It's gotta be my bus next time.
Yeah, man. That's tough going. I do wonder when the people on the bus like that, like you must be pretty drunk to shit yourself. Like you really have to get really, really drunk. Like your body needs to think that it's actually dying, and then it just releases everything.
Look, man, I nearly shit myself today. Because I'm doing this, I'm fasting today. All I'm doing is drinking black coffee and water. I went fuck and I timed it wrong. Next thing, I was about probably 400 meters from the house, and I was like, I might have to stop in an alleyway in British, and I mean, cause a biohazard. Like there's no. I was like sweating. I was like sweating from my lower back, like no elbow, lower back, because I think my fucking kidneys were working overdrive, and I could feel the bottom of my spine starting to tingle. I was like, this is bad. This is really bad. Like, I'm like, I don't know what's about to happen, but it's not going to be good. And I just fucking I felt like a boxer in the 10th round. I just clenched the jaw. I was like, let me get through this, and just like shook my way down the little alleyways in Shoreditch, and made it by the skin of my pants. Made it to the bathroom. But that's happened to me numerous times. So I can't be mad at that guy.
Yeah.
Because
for all you know, that day you could have had to get on a bus and sit down beside someone that just had the gig of their life, and he's like, I think that dude just shot himself.
Yeah, this guy's like, he probably looked at me and was like, this guy is so happy. I just want to feel his radiating energy just to fill me up. And then he was like, oh no, but first I need to defecate all over myself.
Yeah. Anyone who's tuned into the live stream any other time would know that I'm a big fan of fasting. I love fasting. I think it's great. When did you do what are you going to break your fast with? When are you going to end your fast?
Breakfast 11 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, so although this morning I only actually had a couple of bits of fruit, and so yeah, I imagine by about 10 o'clock I will be the least craic ever. Yeah, so
might be tricky. Could be tricky to sleep a little bit, because like if you eat fruit going into a fast, it's like having a little bit of sugar and then going into a fast. It's tricky. It's hard to do. Did you watch any of those videos online about how to break a fast once you've finished fasting? What to eat afterwards?
No, I'm a fucking idiot. So no, absolutely. I am just like, oh no, I'll just do this with no research at all.
Yeah, well, when say 11 o'clock tomorrow, when you get through everything like that, your body is going to be really, really looking. Anything you eat, it'll totally absorb it. It'll take everything in. So, like, say the simplest thing would be to have some bone broth or something like that, and then have your normal meal a couple hours afterwards, or just have a bit of chicken or something small, like.
Okay, but James, let me show you something here, because
yeah,
you and your bone broth, fair enough.
Yeah,
you can do that, or you could find out that Tesco are selling all of their Easter eggs. So at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, I'm going to have a black coffee and get stuck into about 8 pounds of chocolate.
Yeah.
That's right. That's how you do that, right?
No, that's eat like fasting and then eating all that. That's an eating disorder. That's what you have.
Oh, right.
And you're gonna make yourself sick after it as well to just really balance the books.
Wait, you're saying that like that's you shouldn't do that?
Yeah, no. I thing is the next day you'll have your coffee and you will want to eat chocolate. You'd really like to do that, but it's the meal.
Well,
Having your whatever you eat for the 12 hours after the fast, that's more important than doing the fast itself,
Well, that sounds like some fucking bro science hippie shit. So listen, you stick to your DMT, and I will have 18 pounds of chocolate. No, I just did Lent, like the good Irish boy I am.
Oh, good lad.
Of chocolate for Lent,
Mm-hmm.
and so now I'm just easing back into the world gently, except tomorrow.
Yeah.
When I will be shoving Easter eggs directly into my face.
Just have a really, really dense black coffee beforehand, and let me know how you get on in the afternoon. And go for a walk somewhere.
Yeah, it'll just be a headline: man dies. Man dies. Suspected COVID.
Totally drains NHS of all face masks.
Yeah. We've had to close, guys. No, I'll run past and let you know.
I'll smell you coming a mile away. Well, John's on the way.
The big one is the meal. Sorry?
I said John is on the way, so I haven't even left yet.
Yeah, we can feel it. The big one's what are you going to have for the first meal out when the bar's lifted? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good question. I rarely eat out. I very rarely eat out anyway, because I live where I work and everything, so I just make everything I want. What do I buy? Because I kind of eat what I want anyway, so what'd be a treat for me? Going out Indian takeaway or something.
Fasting.
That's quite.
I'm just gonna. You know what? When the lockdown's over, I think I'm just gonna go on a nice fast.
Yeah, really, really enjoy myself. First week of lockdown, I did eat loads of shit and everything like that, but it was making me sad. I was drinking wine with my dinner every evening. I can see why people do it because it's good in the moment, but then overall your whole life decreases,
Yeah.
So then I stopped doing that, and then second week and third week, I was back eating healthy, back exercising, doing my nice fasts, enjoying them, having a good time.
Talk to me about your drugs. So, what about? Although I don't know what the legalities of this. This is first of all.
Yeah.
Let me just say, this is a comedy video / podcast, and everything we say is obviously in the moment of comedy, and I have the script, and it just might feel so loose, so warm that's what it is. Now, that being said, have you done any massive hallucinogenics recently?
I haven't, but I'm planning a fairly tasty acid trip in the next couple of weeks because the weather is so nice. I have the whole place to myself. But yeah, all right. Me and Morgan is going to take a day off the live stream someday, or we could live stream and really freak ourselves out. Oh fuck!
Yeah, that is the move.
Oh, I couldn't do that. That's too much. I can't even look in a mirror when I'm tripping, let alone have the whole world look at me, or all 23 of them, whatever it is. Yeah, but it's the time to do it. Maybe I'll take a little bit and go for a walk or something. That'll be quite nice. Go out and about.
Yeah, that was like the thing that was the most shocking to me whenever I was living up there was I've never seen such a scientific way that people did drugs before.
Yeah, you have to be. I think you can enjoy like whatever it is in life and stuff. You kind of, especially drugs, you can enjoy them. But if you're a judicious drug taker, they can add to your life. But if you're not, they'll take a lot from you. So if you're good and disciplined, you can enjoy them. But obviously, 99% of people just let them, like they either run away with them, they do them too much, or they do lasting damage.
Now, having seen what I plan on eating for breakfast tomorrow morning, how much do you think I should do mega doses of hallucinogenic mushrooms?
Yeah.
Heroin.
But I'd view all the sugar that you're going to eat tomorrow in all those things as a drug itself. Like, you're really looking forward to it. You're going to get a massive dopamine hit off it, and then you're going to be addicted to it. So in a few hours' time, even if you're sick, you'll want to eat it more. Like, that doesn't happen to me with acid. I do it, and I don't want to do it again for a long time because I get really fucked.
Now is the time. I mean, now is the time to do any of that stuff. Like when it's completely quiet and empty around.
It is, but then you're also walking around. You go out for a walk in London, tripping balls, and it's like the police come up. Why are you out here? I'm taking loads of drugs now.
I'm just on drugs. I'm just on drugs.
Yeah, I swear.
I'm not going to work.
I'm not. I swear, that's not COVID.
I promise. I'm not going to work. I'm just on drugs. Yeah.
All right. Tell you what. You sent in your clip. If you got the guys could load up the clip, I'd like to see the clip. It'd be nice.
The lads have the clip.
Yeah, load up the clip, and then we'll jump over to that, and then we'll come back for a little talk afterwards. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Tip top.
You can prepare some more drug questions. I'll answer anything you want. Have a good think about it. I'll really go for it.
I will.
All right. You can jump to the clip now. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
All right, guys. So we've got two acts in this section for the penultimate time tonight. Let's start clapping. Let's start cheering. For the stage, Sean Mayer. Francis has really fucking overestimated my height there. It's very upsetting to me. It's already been a roller coaster for a day, guys. It's a fucking nightmare. I was walking down a beautiful street earlier. I went to Buckingham Palace to see your sights, and I felt the unmistakable squelch crunch of dog shit under boot. And I like these boots. And I looked down and thought, fuck, I have a gig tonight. I'm going to have to spend an hour cleaning shit from my fucking heel. I looked down and it wasn't actually dog shit. It was a discarded potato. Which, for some reason, felt worse. Is this what Britain's become? This is Brexit Britain. It felt like the lowest key racist attack that is imaginable. Fucking looking around. Either that or God's really annoyed that I stopped going to Mass a while back. No, it's going to move from Ireland. I have as many operations as I can before Brexit really kicks in next year. It's amazing, you know. It's kind of worrying. It's a scary time for immigrants. You know, you have Donald Trump, fucking mad, and Brexit here. It's scary, and I was worried. You know, Ireland and England have a fairly tortured history. Some of you might know, if you know your history, thousands of lives ruined with years of some of the worst boy bands to ever make music, you know, but we came through it, but it's been lovely since I got here. It's fantastic, you know. Cricket baffles me, but the Queen seems like a lovely wee woman. It's brilliant. Everyone's given me a lovely warm welcome, except one person who described me recently as grotesquely Irish. Just didn't feel like a compliment, if I'm honest, you know. I understand. I understand. I've got mirrors, you know what I mean? I know this giant spud head, I couldn't look any more Irish if I was wearing a Guinness hat. Like, I get that. My nephew's 5 and he told me that my head was so big I looked like an emoji of myself. There's a laugh that's hard to take. You want to see him? He's a bit of a fucking baby bobblehead himself, guys. I have to be honest, like, when he was born, my brother sent me a photo. He was like, "You're an uncle," and I had to get him to send me another one with an orange beside his head for perspective, just so I could see him. He's all over the place. But funny, in the I think my head looks bigger too because I shaved my head a couple of weeks ago, and because I just felt like, you know what, I don't look Nazi enough, and but it's, do you know what, I quite like it, like, but the only downside is my Uber rating has went down since I shaved my head. How fucking racist are Uber drivers, guys? Just because I'm screaming, "I'm fucking at the other side of the road!" Whenever they're coming, I think they kick off. But anyway, the grotesque thing, so it annoyed me, right? The reason it annoyed me, because I'm not a lazy stereotype. For instance, and many people are surprised at this, for an immigrant, I'm actually quite pro-Brexit. Not for any political reason, everyone relax. I just can't wait until English girls find Irish men exotic again. Ooh, having flipping sunstroke and a ginger beard's going to be like growing a half a foot for me. Which is very important, apparently. A guy said to me recently, "You're a fucking show sauce." I was like, "Doctor, Jesus Christ, can you get some bedside manners? It's fucking unbelievable. I don't think you're meant to say that to people. Guys, I read a book recently about psychopaths. And I'm pretty confident I am one. No, we call it a psychopath test. I was reading it and it was just ticking boxes left and right. It was, and I got, I was thinking, oh my God, this all makes sense finally. Do you know what I mean? This is okay. And I went to my sister. My sister's a psychiatrist. And I said to her, Roisin, I think I'm a psychopath. And she goes, John, let me stop you there straight away. Because the fact that you're worried about being a psychopath, that automatically means you're not a psychopath. And I was like, did I say I was worried about it? Mentioning a fact. No, but the thing was that really set me off was I was having breakfast one morning, sitting eating some delicious buttery toast. And I thought to myself, I love toast. And then a voice in my head, belonging to who the fuck knows who, said, do you like toast? Or do you just like crunchy things? And I actually stopped and went, oh, I don't know. Is that why I like biscuits so much? And then in unison, we both said, cookies, and high five. I thought, serial killers freaked out. Serial killers, guys, they've got voices in their head that tell them to kill pop stars and do heinous shit. Mine just loves biscuits, like he's as fucking big an idiot as I am. I'm scared. I'm afraid of towels. Terrified of towels. Not all. I'm not all towels. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't drip dry when I come out. Just, when you wake up in the middle of the night and there's a towel hanging in the back of your bedroom door, and you know for full sure certainty that is Jack the Ripper traveling through time to fucking murder you. I just know it is. Luckily for me, I'm trained. Grew up doing martial arts. Fucking ready. I've trained myself with weaponry. I'm ready to go. Do curls all the time. As soon as that happens, pull the bed sheets over. Popey murders my girlfriend. So no, I had to. I actually am here to have operations done. Man, I actually am the fucking terrible ignorant you're all fearing. There's I had a fucking heart attack a while back, right? The weirdest heart attack ever. Because it didn't feel like a heart attack. It felt like someone was giving me a big hug. And I was like, oh, this is mad. I'm just sitting eating breakfast. I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm getting a nice warm hug in my chest. And then, but big drunk lads who give you a hug and it's all, way. And then after like a second, you're like, all right, mate, you can let go now. And he's like, ah. And you're like, oh, this is good. And he's like, no. And then you're like, oh, I think my fucking spine's about to crash here. Like, I'm sitting eating a fucking round of toast thinking, I'm about to die here. This is unbelievable. What a terrible last meal that is. Do you know what I mean? I like toast, but I don't like it that much. That I just was in my head, I'm thinking, am I having a heart attack? While also thinking, my funeral's going to be fucking terrible. Like, just seeing all my friends standing in line going, did you hear what happened? Fucking toast. Yeah. It was cut into triangles too, like a fucking child. Did he die of embarrassment? But I took myself to the doctor, 3 months later because I'm a fucking idiot. And he goes, first of all, John, you've not had a heart attack. Don't be ridiculous. You're 33, although you don't look it. You're in great shape. You've got fucking legs like a thoroughbred horse and a back like a pool table. It's amazing. I'm like, thanks, doc. Stop. And he's like, you're so great. And but he goes, tell me what it feels like. And I was like, right, well, look, did you ever get hugged by a drunk guy and he crushes your chest and all? And he was like, and I went through the whole rigmarole. He was like, right, okay, so you had a heart attack. And, so I was like, and he goes, don't worry. First of all, don't worry. Everything's fine. I was like, great. He was like, it's totally fine. I was like, all right, okay, cool. I'm with you. He was totally fine. Doc, you've got to stop saying totally fine, because before he said that, I felt good, but now I feel like my heart's beating in my chest again, and I feel like it's not fine because you keep saying it's fine. Can you stop saying fine? And he goes, he was like, all right, it's good. We're gonna get this sorted. I was like, what do I need to do? And he goes, right, we're gonna take some steps straight away. First of all, you have to stop drinking. Already, I'm like, dignitas, fucking take me now. Do you know what I mean? I don't even drink that much, but I want the option to drink. And also, it feels like when you're 33 and you tell people I don't drink and you're Irish, they automatically assume alcoholic. Because they don't think I look like I've had a heart attack either, do you know what I mean? And so that was difficult. Then, right, what else? And he goes, he can't eat any big meals. Fucking kill himself twice. That's ridiculous. You know, he can't even eat a curry anymore. No. Can't drink caffeine. Can't have a fucking macchiato, Doc. What's going on here? This is a nightmare. And he was, most of all, John, most of all, you absolutely cannot get stressed or annoyed. I was like, oh. Well, can I tell you something about myself? Guys, let me tell you now, I love getting annoyed. Getting annoyed is the best part of my day. I love it. I get like a feed of energy from getting annoyed. I love it. I just go on rants. I seen someone the other day wearing a hoodie that said, "Even my feelings have feelings" on it. And I thought, fuck's sake, that's why the Russians are killing people in the street. People like you walking around with your feelings of feelings. Can you not just fucking swallow them and have a heart attack like everyone else? You know, I was on the tube, and because I'm smart, I went to the last carriage where it's quite empty, and I sat there. It was brilliant. I was all sat. I had my bag and my thing beside me in the chair, and it was great. There was no one there. And then a busy stop happens. Everyone gets on, but there was still enough seats. There was enough seats everywhere. This woman gets on, right, and she like walks. She walks and looks at me like as if I had fucking just pulled my cock out and started pulling it. That's the look. Not that I've seen that look before, but I assume that's disgusting she was. So I thought, alright, I'll take the fucking bag off the seat. So she sits down, not in that seat, but in the seat beside that seat. And then she puts her bag in the seat. And I swear to God, I thought, fuck, I hope this tube blows up. That's all. I was straight. All I wanted was for the flames to be coming, and the last thing she sees is me lifting my bag. Guys, thank you very much for listening. I've been John Maher. Enjoy the rest of the
How's it going? Yeah, that's pretty good. That was John. Did you like that clip, John? It's your own stand-up. Do you like your own stuff at all?
Probably not. I've watched so many videos of it in the last 3 weeks to try and get some clips that it's made me doubt everything. So,
have you started?
Although I did see.
I was going to say, did you subtitle? Have you started subtitling any of your stuff yet?
No, well, I started doing that, but then what I did instead was smash my head against the wall repeatedly. In the hope that maybe I would pass out and never worry about it.
That's tricky, because anyone, out of all the comedians who are trying to make a name for themselves in the UK, that subtitles would be useful for, it would probably be yourself, to be honest.
Yeah, I would have to put them in massive block writing too, just to be like, it's a volume. No, to be fair, Vittorio Angeloni set up a company, and he's doing them for like pretty fucking big people. So he's great. If anyone does want subtitling, give Vittorio a shot. He
was telling me about it. I subtitled my first clip like maybe 6 months ago or something like that. But he was the guy I was chatting to. I just happened to be in the green room somewhere chatting to him, and he was telling me how to do it. And I went home and started doing it. And it's like, oh yeah, you can do it. It's just fucking boring as fuck, like, you know. Yeah. Don't like doing it. Yeah, no, it's a complete nightmare. But that clip you just showed, I just looked briefly and seen the thing, and that was before I got really fat, so that was good. But with this intermittent fasting, like, you'll be in good shape tomorrow morning about 10:59, and then after that back to normal, I'm afraid.
I'm gonna do a run first thing, but
have some in the morning. Have a little bit of salt in your water and stuff. It'll keep you going. It means that you won't faint when you're out running.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd be less likely to faint.
Now we're talking. Yeah. Did you see the guy on Celebrity Bake Off fainting?
No, I didn't.
Man,
he cut himself or something, did he?
He cut himself on the fingertip. On the fingertip. I've never laughed as much. Like I almost passed out. I almost passed out laughing. He cuts himself on the fingertip. He went down like he had been shot with a Barrett 50 fucking rifle. It was brilliant. He looked like a wee doll. It was
I seen the clips of it, and it was like it just cut from one clip to another. And then I thought it was like a joke. They were doing some type of joke, or they're going to prank people. It's like, no, he comes up with like a rag on his foot. Not even a rag, a piece of Kleenex. Like
one of them blue plasters.
Yeah.
He just nicked the end of his finger. Like.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Bake Off, dangerous thing. I was looking at some of the comments during the break, and I'll see if we have some questions. We had a spider there yesterday. We had a spider on the pop guard, and everyone wants us to name it. Do you have any ideas for a name? Because he's here again today. Well, where's he gone? He's around here somewhere. He was here earlier on. Do you have any good names for a spider that lives on the microphone? What?
NC.
NC.
Yeah, like the NC Wincy spider.
Oh, I like that actually. NC. Okay, that's a strong contender.
I think my favourite from Lethal was for the Irish and MMA in the room, could we call it Conor McGregor?
Oh, call the spider Conor McGregor. Because he has like 8 limbs. Conor McGregor hit you from any angle. That's what he did.
And he's constantly jumping on people that don't want anything to do with him.
Yeah, and he scares old people.
Yeah, women run in terror.
Oh yeah, someone did suggest Conor McGregor. Oh no, you said that. Yeah, that's a pretty good name. Very good. And someone wants me to do the. Danielle wants me to do the handstand challenge. Where what do you do? What do you have to do for the handstand challenge for the t-shirt?
You have to do a handstand. I mean, most people do it against the wall, but with your yoga, you could probably do it freehand. And then you have to put on a shirt while in the handstand position.
Freehand. So I'm in a handstand and I have to put on a shirt while in a handstand. Well, I can't.
Wait, does this mean you have to take your shirt off first? Which I feel like Danielle may have ulterior motives here.
Yeah, she might want the first moment of that video that I shoot, and then once the t-shirt goes on, she actually loses interest at that stage, I suppose.
Yeah, it's pure translucence. It's like looking into the tunnel of white light when you die. Irish skin.
I don't know. I can't even do. I'm learning how to do a handstand. It takes a long time to learn how to do a handstand. And I only started doing yoga about 6 months ago, so I need to give myself a break. But it's good. It's hard to do a handstand. That's it.
Can you do a cartwheel?
Yeah, I could do a cartwheel, but like any of those other moves that I could do I could do a really good headstand. I'm learning the pinch pretty good. I can't do a handstand. Cartwheel.
Mate, do it. Show me the headstand.
The headstand. I can't. I'm not doing a headstand now. It's disrespectful to the art.
You're all fucking talk.
Yeah, mainly talk. Good thing I'm doing a live stream. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was looking at originally when I got into yoga, I was like, oh yeah, it's good. That's a lot of people are in it for the spirituality. A lot of people are in for the mindfulness of it and this, that, and the other. But it's like, no, I just want to get real flexible and sort out my back and feel really strong and everything like that. And a few months into it, I seen someone was doing yoga class where you drink a beer while you're doing yoga, and I'm like, that's totally disrespectful to the history of yoga. I'm just into it
yoga
now.
is about stretching and then being very inappropriate with people after.
Yeah.
That is go away.
Yeah.
Have you watched Bikram, the Netflix thing?
I did, yeah. I watched it the fucking day it came out. I was like, who's this bastard ruining yoga for everyone?
Yeah, meanwhile you're like, Jesus, I have to get out of these white fronts now.
Yeah.
He's fucking man, never trust anyone in swimming togs. That's something I learned growing up in the 80s in Ireland. Like,
any of those, any of the people who anyone who's in a cult that's alive, that's doing a cult, they always just want to sleep with all the girls who are there. It's like, can they not just have a nice cult where they just do culty things and just get on with it? It's all about fucking.
Well, look, cards on the table. If you were in a cult, wouldn't you want to fuck everyone?
I think there's something where, like, you had it kind of with Harvey Weinstein and all that as well, where if you're really high in power, you just abuse that power. That happens a lot.
Hang on. Can I just stop while you definitely don't just act as if I was pushing Harvey Weinstein to the board? Like, a totally different argument. That's the fucking title of this video now. Comedian John Maher argues in favor of Harvey Weinstein. That is.
I'm just going to take that clip. You saying that yourself.
I was actually listening. I was like, oh yeah, right. Where's he going with this? Oh, wait, what? I didn't say that. Yeah, fucking yeah. And the way that you did Prince Andrew as well. Yeah.
And it would be true to say that Harvey was actually an uncle of yours that you used to spend summers with.
Well, not by blood, but he's one of them guys who's creepy uncles, that just hang around.
Yeah, anyone. It's those people who get into power and abuse the power by sleeping with everyone. Like the Bikram lad or the Harvey Weinstein guy, as you brought up yourself there. They're kind of all very similar in some ways.
Yeah. Those guys.
Yeah, I say you might be a bit. If you had, I say you're going to be a bit hungry tonight when you're going to bed, unfortunately, because you're doing your fast. But just concentrate on the Easter eggs. You'll be all right.
I know, I'll be grand. I've been through worse shit. Honestly, the hardest part, but also the best part is, so for breakfast, I'm not eating 3 Easter eggs for breakfast, 1 max. But my girlfriend has made some banana bread tonight in a classic lockdown move. So that smells absolutely delicious, which should be annoying, but it's not, because I'm like, I'll just get to eat some banana bread in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice going, man. You can look forward to the tasty banana bread. I think that'd be good.
And it can look like that.
Yeah. It's 9 o'clock now, so I'm just going to wrap it up. That was very quick, though. Thanks for chatting to me. You're very, very sound. Hopefully I'll see you running by someday.
Yeah. I'll wave at you tomorrow.
Yeah, sound job. All right, John.
Follow me on Instagram and all that. MEAGHER Comedy.
Yeah, and definitely podcast. Check it out. It's really important for people when they start podcasts to do the for the first few weeks and stuff, for people to watch it. So if you can go and check it out and have a listen, that'll be very, very sound.
Yeah, and you'll know when I did the intro of the first episode was 59 takes. So bear that effort that I put into that. 59 takes, and I wish I was exaggerating.
Yeah, you should just do it live, man. You have 1 take, and if it's shit, there you go. It's the best I can do.
Download it, you fucks. Yeah.
All right, dude. Sound. I'll catch you later. Take it easy, man.
Thanks, dude. See you guys.
See you, John.
All right. Thanks very much for tuning in. A few more questions. James Spider. Yeah, the idea of doing you're chatting to them anyway.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, if you guys want to check out some of the comments, they're still trying to decide on what the spider name will go for. We have a few options. We could probably do some type of poll on the internet.
I could do something on Twitter. We talked about it in the first one.
Yeah. I wish we could. I'll have a look. He's around here somewhere, so I'll get a picture of him maybe.
We'll start doing like daily Instagram updates or something.
Yeah, I've always wanted a pet, and this could be my pet, I guess. I don't know where he is now, though. He's kind of weird, translucent dude. I'll have to look up what type of spider he is. Yeah, we'll get that poll going. We'll see that tomorrow. That was nice. I love chatting to John. He's a really good crack. Did you like John?
I love it. He's the kind of guy I want to pint with. I know we don't drink as keto people, but I want to pint with him.
Morgan's keto people now, and he keeps going in my ear about it. Like, Jesus, man, just give it a rest, I'll have him we'll do some yoga now next week. Keto, yoga, I'll get John over for a fast. We'll do a fast evening with John. Everyone's into it. You might think if you're watching this, everyone's doing this. It's not really. It's not many people at all. It's just John does a bit of fasting. I'm into it. Now Morgan's checking it out. I think you should do it as well. It's really good. We were saying earlier on, the reason that I got into it was kind of for the keto especially. It wasn't for body composition or anything like that, because I was pretty much the same shape anyway. But it was for the cognitive effect of it. So if you're just eating high fat stuff and you're just burning fat, that you don't have those crashes because your insulin doesn't get spiked and doesn't crash again. So if you have a lot of work. So I was working in the Bill Murray, like hitting it early in the morning, meetings all day, working in the evening, and then doing a gig at night. It was really nice that I didn't have those crashes and I was still able to hit the stage at 8 o'clock and still be fresh. So that's the huge benefit of keto if anyone wants to do it. I'd love to get people on. We might do it in time where I chat to someone who's into that healthy living stuff, because I'd love to chat them. I could even chat them for a bit longer. We could do a 2-hour podcast. I could ask them loads of questions.
To be honest.
Yeah, I could do that. Do a live stream, and then once the lockdown's over, we'll be able to kind of do it live as well, where we actually get people coming in, and we could have tasty snacks, and we could hang out, and there'd be loads of people here, and we could do green room stuff. But until then, it's just me and Morgan. At least we're happy though.
We're happy to do that.
Tomorrow night we've got coming up, we have something from the archive. Then on Saturday night as well, we have also stuff from the archive. They're kind of pro shows that we shot during the year. You can check them out. They're really, really good. They were shot on Friday and Saturday nights, so hopefully we'll get one from Friday to go on the Friday night. So the MC will be able to say, welcome to Friday night, and it'll feel like it's all part of it. but we may not do that either. We'll see how it works out. And then we're back again with Rob. He's doing his chatty hour on Instagram. Check out the Instagram. He's chatting to Linwood Miller a good bit. And we have a writing gym starting up as well. So if you want to go onto our Facebook, sign up on our Facebook, you can see the writing gym. That's where you kind of get a link, you zoom in, there's a teacher there, they give you different ideas about what to write and different exercises, and you can chat about that for a bit. So we have an awful lot going on. And today, if you signed up to our mailing list online, you can get it on the front page of our website, angelcomedy.co.uk. You sign up to it, but we've launched this therapy thing. Now, this is really, really sound. if we do say so ourselves. There's a load of therapists who one of our directors, Sarah, approached, and she's a therapist herself, and she goes, in this tricky time and stuff, would they be able to offer the services at a reduced rate? And not only have they gone for a reduced rate, some of them are even doing pay what you can afford, because they know how tricky it is at the moment to kind of to get help, especially when it's such a difficult time. So if you're at home and you're stressed out, even if you've never had therapy before, you don't think it's for you, but you kind of think that it might be the thing that might be able to help, go on our website, sign up to our mail list, and there's links there as well. Just send an email to one of the therapists. It's completely confidential. You'll be able to talk directly to the therapist. They'll be able to advise you a little bit. You can have a little session. You can see if it's for you. If that helps you out, we're happy to help you out as well. So chat to you again next week, and thanks for tuning in. I'll see you soon. Bye.